German Grand Prix takes place this weekend at Hockenheim, so let's have a look at the circuit with our 3D animation. The German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. I still have somewhere in my desk a letter that Dennis Jenkinson, the greatest of all racing journalists, sent to me in 1976 saying, "Peter, if you go to Hockenheim in '77 to cover the race there, I'll never speak to you again." Jenks, of course, was a devotee of the old Nürburgring, but after that accident of Niki Lauda in '76, the German Grand Prix indeed went to Hockenheim. This circuit was built, would you believe, in 1929. Designed originally by Mercedes as a test track because they were competing at the Tripoli Grand Prix in Northern Africa and they needed the test track relatively near Stuttgart, so they built Hockenheim. In those days, it went right through the village of Hockenheim. Since then, two redesigns, one by John Hugenholtz, the designer, of course, of Zandvoort and of the brilliant Suzuka circuit, and then subsequently Hermann Tilke redesigned the circuit we see today. The most amazing stat I can give you is that Sebastian Vettel, amazingly, has never won at Hockenheim. Ferrari on a roll right now, so that could well change this weekend. And it's been a big circuit for Ferrari over the years. Don't forget 1999, Eddie Irvine given the win on a plate by Mika Salo, his teammate at Ferrari, standing in for Michael Schumacher. Mika should have won that race. And in 2010, of course, Felipe Massa was leading in the second Ferrari and had to wave Fernando Alonso past to take the victory. Turn one, a really good first corner. Often we have a long straight and then a tight corner, but turn one is by no means tight. It's very quick. It's slightly uphill, and beyond that, it's got an apex, which is quite difficult to find because there's a bump there as well. Really good corner. You can run wide on exit a little bit, but you will lose ground a little bit, like coming out of Copse Corner at Silverstone, because it's a long straight that follows, and if you don't get it right on exit, it's going to kill you. Also like coming out of turn one in Austria as well. Turns 2, 3, a little bit like Bahrain. You can get the inside run into turn 2, but guess what? Your opponent then is going to be on the inside for the run into turn 3, and you can sort of go around turn 2 abreast. So that's an interesting bit of road, and then comes a relatively long section of flat-out running. Hard on engines, hard on fuel consumption, but certainly a place where you can get some sort of tow, and there will be a DRS and tow effect as they go flat out through 5 and then brake into the very tight turn 6 hairpin, where coming out, Sebastian Vettel, you cannot use more than the official track limits. It's caught him out in the past. Turn 7's a really quick corner. If you're very brave, you can be on the outside there and try to get the inside braking area into turn 8. Then it's tight, but then comes the lovely entrance to the stadium section, the 90-degree right-hander. You can ride a little bit wide on exit there, but again, the curbs will penalize you. You brake into the tight stadium section. Very impressive this on race day. Big crowd, assuming you're not in the GP3 race early in the morning, of course. Big crowd for Formula One. Nice to watch them accelerating out of that tight left-hander. But then comes turns 14, 15, and 16. There's an elevation change there. There's camber. And 16 is a corner where Michael Schumacher once, inexplicably, on Sunday morning, just went straight off, just slid straight off into the outside. A difficult corner, difficult entry, difficult vision as well to place the car. So this is a corner very underrated, I believe, at Hockenheim. The last corner, pretty straightforward right-hander, a little bit like the last corner in Austria. And then the finishing straight, just brilliant. The canyon of fans in the grandstands on your left, the pits on your right. The fans are going to love it. It's going to be a big, big weekend. For Formula One, this is one of the shop window Grand Prix. Don't miss it if you've got any chance of being there.